Welcome to this week's Comic Hall and Roundtable discussion. We are glad that you're with us after a nice long hiatus. Uh, with us tonight, we have on our panel Antonio Coleman, Al Rainey, and myself, Matt Odom. Well, we have a loaded Hall show tonight. This is probably going to be the biggest Hall show of the year. Uh, Xavier Randall should be joining us soon. I'm not so sure if Larry's going to join us tonight, so we'll just get them in once they get here. Glad to see everybody. How's everybody doing?
Doing good, man.
Cool, cool. All right,
Yeah.
so let's get everything off and running. And TC, since you are gonna be the low end of the totem pole tonight, per our discussion earlier tonight, we'll go, we'll go ahead and let you get everything off and rolling.
Well, I only picked up a few things, man. It really hasn't been too much come out lately, but I did pick up the Forge, the Dark Days. I don't know if anybody picked them up.
Hey man, what is that forge you're going for? Because I actually that's one I missed out on.
Yeah, I just paid cover price, man. It's like it was like five bucks a piece. Yeah, like $4.99 a piece.
Okay, all right, I had to pick that
I
one
got
up.
all three covers on there for it. But I mean, I hadn't read it yet, but I am interested because they're gonna do a whole series from what I saw. DC is from multiple Batmans in multiple universes, so we're gonna see how that rolls out. And then the other one I picked up, which we talked about earlier, was the Baby Teeth #1,
Yeah.
which is from your boy Donny Cates, same man that did the which one was the God Country.
Country
Yep. So I'm looking forward
and
to reading
rednecks.
this to see how it's gonna turn out. Hopefully it'll be just as good as God Country. But that's all I've picked up lately. I mean,
Okay,
besides just the standard.
all right, Al.
Man, why I got to go second, man? Golly.
Because
Oh,
I got
hey.
that message.
Hey.
Just wait.
Um. Okay. I'm not gonna show everything. I got a whole bunch of stuff. I guess I'll start off with some new stuff, and then go to some good stuff. Uh, as far as my current pools, I got Grass Kings 4. Boom Studios. Everybody will in the hall knows that Fox has a stake in Boom Studios. We might see a Grass Kings movie. Uh, Hold on, the technical difficulties. Okay, all right. God Country #6. This is the last one in the series that came out this week. Secret Empire 4. Green Arrow 25 variant cover. Green Lanterns 25. Uh, Black Cloud #3. Uh, Kill the Minotaur #1. It was all right. I don't think I'll be picking that one up, buying it on a regular basis, unless Bruce Lee shows up. Let's see. Black Sunday Murders #6. Other than that, let's see. I just picked up some back issues or some stuff. I've been on a nostalgia kick lately, and my friends at Bunch of Comics had got a pull from some comics that somebody traded in, so I ended up getting this Captain Carrot and his amazing zoo crew It's like a mini
Okay.
series, number 1, 2, and 3. Where they're supposed to be fighting folks from the Wizard of Oz. Uh, had some pretty good pulls this week from eBay. Oh, give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. And if I didn't say it, thank you so much for joining us this week. I do appreciate it. I have been on a mission to pull. I have a couple missions in my comic book collecting. One of the first ones is to collect all the X titles, from first volume of each X title that came out from the 60s through the 90s, and I'm working on that. Another one is to actually come up with the first appearances or first issues of major comic books from the late 70s to the mid 80s. So I was on the phone with Matt one night, and I was on my way home from work. And basically, no, it was a Saturday. It was last Saturday. I was talking to Matt, and I said, "You know what, man? I want this book." He said, "Oh, yeah." I said, "Yeah." So I went on the eBay, which is my best friend lately, and to make a long story short, I got She-Hulk #1. She up for a pretty good price, pretty decent price. Um, it was, as Matt says, a steal. I also was on eBay and I picked up X-Men 107. I got this one for a steal. This helps fill some of my holes. And this is basically the Starjammers. This is like the first appearance of the Starjammers if you're familiar with X-Men lore. X-Men 113. There's no rhyme or reason, no specific situation regarding this book. It's just a book that I need to fill my collection. The interesting about this book, I'm gonna tell y'all a brief quick story. I ordered that book off of eBay. I ordered it on a Thursday. I got it Monday, and on eBay it says that it still haven't been shipped yet. So that's how efficient the seller was. So I had to give him like 20 stars. Last but not least but not last, I got a couple other things. Oh yeah, got this today. Matt and I were at Bungie. This is DC Comics presents number 28. This is the first full appearance of Mongol. Found this out of the dollar bin. The dollar bin. Like I said, I got a whole bunch of other stuff, which I don't really have time to show. Um, Flash 24, got that too. But this one is the coup de grace. My final showing tonight was something that I got that I went ahead and jumped on. I jumped on it before the craze started getting crazy. I figured if I didn't get a handle on it beforehand, that I was gonna come to eBay and see a whole bunch of crazy prices and stuff. So when they showed the trailer for this particular movie, I jumped on eBay and I have my first ever slab Black Panther #1.
Yeah, TC approved.
TC approved, as he has Black Panther on. If TC approves this, I'm in good graces. TC is the
Can't go wrong.
godfather of Black Panther. So I picked that sucker up for a really good deal. Other than that, like I said, I just got some back issues. This Uncanny X-Men 79, a couple other stuff, but that's pretty much it for me.
All right, so yeah, so I've been on a kick as of late. This is one of these rare runs where I'm finding everything for little or nothing, and so I have I've got quite a few books here, so I'm going to kind of go through what I think will be pretty important, and we'll move on. Right out the gate, new Teen Titans #2, first appearance of Deathstroke. Got that from Comics Plus. Uh, Today was with Brother Al. DC Comics presents #26, first appearance of Cyborg, Starfire, and Raven. That Masters of the Universe 3 and 2. These are bargain buys on eBay. Make sure you can get them. You get the whole set. I think I sent y'all a link with $9 or $20 for the whole set. Pennies on the dollar. Dining Heroes and Villains. Just loping around. Picked up the Silver Surfer #1 European variant. $5. Was also down there at the villain. DC versus Marvel Comics #1, $4. One of the steals of the cycle is Crisis on Infinite Earths #6, first appearance, Anti-Monitor.
You know that whole set is going for pretty cheap on eBay right now.
I mean, you would do yourself an injustice not to get, no pun intended, you would do an injustice not to get that book. I mean, it's one of the most major characters in the DC universe, and it's pennies on the dollar. I mean, pennies on the dollar. I picked this one up because of the cover. This is Daredevil 156, old Daredevil versus new Daredevil. So that one up. Speaking of things that might come up down the line, or a series or a TV show, I want to pick up The Hood #1. Pick this out the dollar bin. Ultimate Spider-Man 100. I just like the cover. This actually leads into the Clone Saga. Also, I got this one. Speaking of before it heats up, Al. Before it heats up, I went out and got this one, man. I paid $15. This is one of those ones where I backed off of eBay real quick. It's a stealth buy. Deadpool and Cable #1.
Yeah, can't go wrong with that.
No,
especially with the movie coming up.
And so, keep this rolling. I'm just gonna kind of zoom through these. I got the liquored Iron Man. This is one of them. This is not the main one. This is, yeah,
Tony Stark special, right?
Yeah, this is the lick it up. I picked this one up out the dollar bin. I picked this one up strictly because Moon Knight, Iron Man on the cover. I mean, you can't go wrong with Moon Knight. Picked this one up at the villain for $8. Punisher War Journal #1. Picked this one up off eBay. This was a $15 steal. This was the Detective Comics 566, the first appearance of the Rogues Gallery. Picked this up off eBay for, I think this one was $12. This is Captain America #360, first appearance of Crossbones.
Yep.
This is Infinite Crisis on Infinite Earth #5. This is also a continuation of the Anti-Monitor. I think I picked this one up for like maybe $3, something like that. Amazing Spider-Man 238, first appearance of Hobgoblin. This is a reader copy. I just want to have it because it's the first appearance of Hobgoblin. I got this one for $10. Was showing Al around the store the other day, and while we was down at Comics Plus, I saw these in the back, brought them out to the front, and I got both of these for $25 a piece. And so I have completed my run of the Marvel Limited series of Wolverine. So that is complete. I picked this one up with TC in mind. When I saw it, I said I got to get it. This is an Invincible Iron Man #5. TC, you probably can go look on eBay. You might be able to get this for little or nothing. I don't think this is one of the ones that people are really looking at, but this is something that people should be looking at. This is Iron Man in Wakanda.
Yeah.
Yep. So this is something I think that if you're spec buying, this is something that I think that you could possibly get your hands on, considering that you're probably going to see uh, some form of influence from Tony Stark in the upcoming movie. All right. Yeah. Did I get two of these, man? I done done it. I think I might have got two of these. Either sit it down here. Yeah, I'll sit that back. If I got two of them, I get one to y'all. All right. Anyway, Legionnaires, number one for $1. I mean, you just never know. Legionnaires might show up at some point. And one of the books that Al was talking about, but this is 156 Uncanny X-Men. I got this for $8. You'd be surprised at how much this is starting to go for. I mean, this is me and Al talked about this last night. This is one of these books that's is really starting to catch fire. Ultimate X got this for $1. Biggest haul I had since we on the show. Superman 238. I got this one just because I like the cover, and this one was $15. So I really like that cover. And I'm not the huge, the most massive Superman fan. DC Comics Presents is the one Al showed earlier. This is 27. This is the first appearance of Mongo. Dollar Bin pickup, Batman 500. Everybody should have this in their arsenal. There's no excuse for nobody not to have that. Black Panther negative variant. Thank you, brother man Coleman. This is Antonio Coleman. This is starting to pick up steam on eBay. It's not like astronomical, but it's starting to pick up steam. So if you see it, pick it up. Avengers 221. This is when She-Hulk joins the Avengers.
I remember that book. My cousin had it.
Once again, another Batman 500 fall variant. Now this is a little known secret. This book actually predates Batman Adventures 12. And this is by the letter of the law, the first appearance of Harley Quinn. This is the Batman Adventures coloring book. Dollar Bin pickup, Wonder Woman 63. I got it just because of the cover. Spider-Man 26. I mean, you can go find those at the bar, find those pretty much anywhere. My Dollar Bin pickup of the day was Blue Beetle number 1. Eternal Warrior number 5. Venom number 1. The Enemy Within. Dollar Bin, Ultimate Spider-Man, more Venom. I got that because of the cover. Dollar Bin, Sword of Azrael, number 1. Got this one for $15. I got this one for just based off the cover alone. Uncle Scrooge. Mm-hmm.
Scrooge me.
Same book I had earlier, number 28, first full appearance of Mongo. And we got Web and Spectacular Spider-Man. I mean, pick those up. You see those for $1, you just pick them up. All right, and I'll just do it like this. This is all the new stuff I got, man. Just the Power Rangers. I got that one just strictly for the cover. Wonder Woman, strictly for the cover. And of course, we all got these. If you know anybody, you got any sense, everybody got this here.
Yep.
I didn't have no sense. You know what?
You did not get that, Al? You didn't pick that up?
I'm gonna tell you, because you know what? I wasn't nobody. Well, if y'all did post it in the hall, I wasn't paying attention that day, because that flew over me like a UFO. And when I went back up there, they had some. I remember seeing it, but when I went back up there, man, they were gone. So I missed out on that one.
All right, so rounding it out for me. Teen Titans #1. I had this in a bad, worse, old copy. So I've got this now in a grade 5 slab, and so I am thrilled to have this in the family, the slab family. Uh, and if you look here, you see I have Iron Fist #1. This is in his regular series, but now I have slabs, which is why it's hanging on the wall. So got this slab, grade 7.5.
Word life.
Yeah.
Word life, homie.
And slab, Amazing Spider-Man 100.
That's
Got
a
that
good
one.
deal.
Yeah, I mean, I got this for $60. $60. This is less than what the grade 5 goes. So I mean, this was a steal. This was a steal. Swamp Thing 37. Yeah, this is the one I was telling you about earlier. This is one of my on my list of grails to get. So this is now officially marked off, and this is an absolutely gorgeous cover. And it's also the first appearance of Constantine, John Constantine.
Swamp Thing is raising the roof on that cover. He's crunk.
All right, so now I'm kind of in a dilemma here. I don't know which one I want to show first, but I think I am going. I know what I'm going to show first. This is one of the pickups of the weekend for me. This is not the. If I did not get the other one, this would be the pickup of the weekend. This is Iron Man and Submariner #1. This predates both characters' books. This is called Iron Man #1. This is called Submariner #1. So this is something that I'm thrilled to have Silver Age wise. This is a really, really, really good pickup. And for the coup de grace, let me tell you, man, it is a blessing, and I am thrilled to have this right here. This is to have this scratched off my list.
Turn around.
I'm gonna turn it. I purposely did that. To have this scratched off the list makes life a little bit easier as a collector. And anybody who has this book knows what I'm talking about. So, without any further ado, NYX #3. And the price that I paid for this was there's no way on earth I could have not bought this book. I saw this book. Granted, it's a 7.5, but does it look like I give a damn? I could care less. It was on eBay as a new listing. It was probably about 1 o'clock, somewhere right around the time. I think it was like 1, something like that. Listed for $250. Buy it now. I mean, the baby to buy this book slabbed, considering what it goes for raw at $250. There's no way. There's no way I could not pass up on this. I'll be kicking myself if I did. So I went ahead and I bit the bullet, picked it up, and finally got that. Now I've got the the entire run of the first 10 issues of NYX knocked out now. So I'm thrilled to finally have done that, and that is it, man. So like I said, that was a huge haul for me, and that's probably gonna be the biggest haul I have for the year. Because after this, man, I'm gonna just kind of pick up just little bits here and there. So, all right, so that is our haul. We'll wait till Xavier gets in, and we'll see his once he arrives. Let's get down to business. E3 was last week, and there was quite a lot of information that came out of E3 last week. We had the announcement of the Xbox One X, which Al is thrilled to be picking up for himself.
Man, don't be lying on me on national television, brother. Don't lie on me like that, man.
My biggest takeaway for E3 this year was probably, I'll have to say Spider-Man was the takeaway from E3 this year. I mean, the game looked absolutely amazing, and that says a lot considering that God of War was actually shown as well. But I mean, Spider-Man upstaged it. Um, I mean, I just think that's going to be a top-notch game. Insomniac is doing it. Insomniac rarely puts out bad games. TC, thoughts on Spider-Man?
I mean, you know what? From everything I've seen, it really good does like a throwback to the old uh, Spider-Man 2. I don't know if you remember, that was on PlayStation 2 and Xbox back in the day. But it looks, if it's what I think it is, which is basically just like a free roam where you can just go and do what you want to stop type of game, then I mean graphically it looks top notch. I just think I think it's gonna be like game of the year when it does come out.
Yeah, I think it's going to raise. I think it's going to. I mean, with Spider-Man Homecoming coming out, man, this is Sony really outdid themselves with this game, and to see it play the way it plays, it's like you said, it's going to be like, I think it's going to be like the old school PS2 Spider-Man, and
Yeah.
I mean, just the special effects, the graphics, the gameplay. I mean, it was moving fluidly. I'm not sure what the specs were on the game as it was played, but it looked like a game that looked solid, and they were putting it together. And it looks like it's going to be a really good game. Al, thoughts on Spider-Man, my friend?
Well, visually, the game looks very stunning. I mean, it looks very good. I was reading an article earlier, and it was talking about how the actual game itself was an endeavor to make. So, I'm speaking in my regular voice now, but the game looks good, man. It looks really good. I mean, I was impressed with it. But the article that I was referring to earlier was that I don't know if there has been problems with the development of the game, because I want to say Insomnia or somebody that works for Insomnia was saying that they felt that the PlayStation 4 wasn't powerful enough to actually run the game. So hopefully, what we see as far as what we saw from the video footage is what we actually get when they release the game. But it looks really, I mean, I was impressed. I mean, if, like TC said, if it's one of those free roaming type GTA type games where you can go anywhere and do whatever, of course, they're probably going to have like a storyline that you have to follow, a linear storyline. But I think it'd be cool if they had something kind of like GTA and missions where, you go and save from folks from getting robbed from a bank, or cars, or actually some kind of runaway car, and you go save and you get like, prestige points or something. Now that'll be really cool.
I would assume that I would assume it's going to be played like Batman, like Arkham.
And if it's like that, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, and I think that you'll have those side quests and everything. So I would assume it's going to probably play like that, or even like Ratchet and Clank, as far as just being able to do a lot of side missions.
Well, if they follow the Arkham formula as far as the game, I think it'll be all right. Insomniac is a well-known game company. They did not Micronauts, but some knots, I can't remember, Psychonauts. And they also did, I want to say they did Jak and Daxter and the Infamous games.
Yeah.
So they've got a track record of putting out some pretty good games. So.
All right. Well, the other game that was on fire last week that we walked away from the show is Dragon Ball Z, and I would probably put this as I would probably put this as far as, if they get everything right, which you rarely see Arc Systems botching a game. I would probably say this is going to be fighting game of the year. Um, Me and TC, we talked about this in length the night of E3, and we were discussing that there's so much they can do with the roster. You talk about a stat roster. Now they could go quite a ways with putting the characters in this game. You know, I really think that they could do a lot as far as character wise versus what Marvel is doing, and we'll talk about that after this. Uh, TC, Dragon Ball Z, my friend.
Well, I mean, it's one of those games, man. That really has the potential for it is through the roof as far as what it can be and how it can be perceived as far as for the public to get it. But my worries about it is a overflooding of characters that are basically they just play the same. It's just a different skin swap on it. That's my main. I hope it doesn't do that, but I mean, I hope it does have some of the characters in there. I hope it does have like bring in Nappa, bring in. I mean, you already saw Cell. You can bring in Turles. You can bring in the whole Majin series, all the characters from that, and all the characters from the movie. So, I mean, you don't have a shortage of characters that you can play the game with. That's number one. But I hope each character they put in the game is going to actually be a unique character that's going to play their own style and play their own way, and not just be a skin swap and play the exact same way as another character. But from what I've heard and read, and even watched videos and stuff like that, it's 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 going to be presented as like a serious fighting game. It's not just going to be like just something you just throw down and put in some quarters and just sit there and just go back and forth, back and forth. It's gonna be available for everybody to play, but it's gonna be as far as the way the game is designed. It's designed for a serious, like pro level fighting game. So I'm really excited to see what can be done with the pro fighters and the tournaments and stuff like that. See what we can see for it.
Well, I think this really gives Marvel versus Capcom a lot of trouble. I really think that Capcom was caught off guard by this game, and I think that looking at what they're doing with Marvel, and I mean Al, we'll get to Al in a second. He's had a chance to play Infinite. I really think that Marvel just really thought they were just gonna, Capcom, excuse me, I'm sorry, Capcom was going to roll out a product and just shove it up everybody's butt and expect them to take it.
Well, the
TC,
thing about it, I was just gonna say the thing about it with Marvel, man, and I know I want to let Al get in on the Dragon Ball Z, but I just really feel like they really kind of they dropped the ball on that on what they showed. So, but we'll go into that when we start talking about it.
yeah. Uh, Al, Dragon Ball Z, man, you one of the resident scrolls of Dragon Ball Z.
I was overjoyed when I saw it. I mean, the game looks great. The gameplay looks great. Arc Systems, they're known for their fighters, Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue. Um, I think this is one of those games that's going to be competition for Capcom. As you all know, um, the panel knows that I have a very high or strong opinion on Capcom at this particular present time. But I'm not going to get into that because we're talking about Dragon Ball Z. Nonetheless, I think that particular game has the potential to probably be the best fighting game to come out the gate next year. Um, I think with the diverse array of Dragon Ball Z characters, and I'm gonna go on the limb and say Dragon Ball Super because in one of the trailers Goku went blue, and
Yeah,
that's in Dragon Ball Super. So it'll be safe to say that they probably would even add. I'd love to see a Beerus or some of the the gods from Dragon Ball Super in the game, or some of the people in the tournament, which is probably going to end up being DLC. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of potential that that game has. I think that as long as Arc Systems doesn't screw anything or flub anything up, if they put out a polished game with a decent roster from jump, I think they're going to have a hit not only with the fighting game community, but with guys like us who pretty much like fighting games and the competitive spirit of fighting in fighting games, and just the comfort of knowing that you'll get a complete fighting game out of Arc Systems, rather than a prototype of a game that's being built over a certain length of time.
Well, I already got my one liner for the next segment. I'm just waiting for you to get done. Cause y'all already laughed.
Nah, I was laughing because TC was laughing, but he knew what I was talking about. Y'all
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about. So, but in a nutshell, man, I'm really. That one's is pre-ordered. Just put it this way, it's been pre-ordered,
Yeah.
and it ain't coming out to next year. So, that tells you the excitement that I have for the game. If I don't pick up any other game next year, well, that Red Dead Redemption, it'll be Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball will be one of those games. Dragon Ball Z Fighter.
All right. Well, since you were talking about polishing, let's talk about the turd that Capcom is polishing. Marvel vs. Capcom is absolutely. I mean, right now, this is one of those rants. I had been looking forward to that when I saw the trailer. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be a great game, man. It's Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Black Panther. You get all these characters da. And I mean, right out of the gate, man. I mean, we're not even anywhere near launch date, man. And we're getting it right out there. They ran the trailer at E3, and right after the trailer, man, they're announcing DLC exclusive characters that you got to pay to get the deluxe bundle to get Black Panther. Now, if that wasn't a marketing ploy by Capcom, I don't know what else is. I mean, at some point, the madness has got to stop. I mean, the only reason they did that was because the Black Panther trailer ran out a couple of weeks ago. Capcom has got to break this habit of putting out games, and from my understanding, and Al will elaborate on this, is that from my understanding, the little demo that they released is really not that good. Now I've heard that from several people that really it's like Capcom just slapped on some skins and threw. Here we go. It's basically Marvel vs. Capcom. What was the last one? Marvel vs. Capcom.
Ultimate Marvel vs.
Capcom 3. 1.0. I mean, all they do is just add new characters. This is typical Capcom again, being lazy. I mean, Capcom has gotten a reputation of being a lazy company, and I think it's because oh man, Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2, da. But you've got people that are in the Street Fighter 5 community that are still pissed off about how they did them there, who actually play Marvel. So I've actually seen on some message boards where people are saying, no, I'm not buying this game when it first comes out. And I'll tell you right here on this panel, I'm not buying that game day one. I'm not buying it. I'll probably get that game when it's time for the Christmas sale, and it's knocked all the way down to about 2021. And by then, I'll even know if there's even any characters in the game that I want to play with. Because if it's characters that's in the last one, I'll just keep playing that one. And y'all can have Black Panther and Rom or whoever else is in that game. Because I just I mean, it's got to a point, man, where I'm not going to feed the habits of these developers by just keep allowing them to put out crap, and then you piss down my back and tell me it's raining. I'm not going to keep going for it. And Capcom, I learned my lesson a long time ago with Capcom, and I hate that Al learned this lesson. It took Al to Street Fighter 5 to learn his lesson, but he's learned it, and I can guarantee you now he's not buying that day one. I guarantee you Antonio Coleman's not buying that game day one. I guarantee you nobody on this panel, with the exception of Larry Crawford, is going to buy that game day one.
Oh, man.
Nobody's buying that game day one because we all know that this is just a ploy. This is another one of these classic marketing ploys by Capcom. And like I told you earlier, they got caught off guard by Dragon Ball Z. And they're going to have to figure out they're going to figure out what kind of hand are they going to play. Are y'all going to keep trying to play the DLC? Because I have a sinking feeling that Arc Systems is going to put at least 40 characters in that game right out the gate ready to go. And the DLC is probably going to trump whatever Capcom has up their sleeve. Al, your thoughts on Capcom?
Well, my thing, I think really what the crux of what what most gamers angst is regarding Capcom is the fact that this goes back to Street Fighter Cross Tekken when it was revealed that they had characters that were already programmed on the game, but you essentially had to pay them for a code essentially to unlock those characters. That's where the biggest uproar came. They kind of did right by people with Street Fighter 4, and then of course they did the Ultimate Street Fighter 4 when they brought Elena Rolento and a few other people, and that kind of smoothed some stuff out then. Of course, with Marvel's Capcom 3, Ultimate Marvel Capcom, we know why they did Ultimate, and I think people gave them a pass for that because of the issues that they were having over there with, the natural disasters. People gave them a pass for that. I think with Street Fighter Five kind of really put people in it put Capcom in a negative light because, you know, even though, and I will admit that they stated that they were going to put out a game that wasn't complete, they could have done a lot better than what they did. One of my biggest issues with Street Fighter Five when it came out, aside from it being a bare bones game, was the net code. It was terrible. You could barely get on and fight, because you really didn't have any other modes except for online. And let me just make this statement: the fighting game community is a big, diverse community. But when it all boils down to it, Capcom owes a lot to casual gamers. They owe a lot to people like you, me, folks that are in the pop culture buddy site on Facebook that aren't into, because there's several that are into the tournaments and fighting game tournaments or whatever. But there's a lot of people that aren't. So, for Capcom to put out a game, say, hey, this game is for the fighting game community, it's a slap in the face because fighting game community, I doubt very seriously if they're going to buy the super duper deluxe king combo 98 smash, whatever you want to call it, version of Marvel's Capcom Infinite. That's going to be the casual gamer that's just going to want the Black Panther DLC or whoever else it comes with it. At the end of the day, I think what Capcom needs to do, and I'm going to throw this out here, I did it once before in a post, they need to go back to what brought them to the dance. And I understand developers, programmers, they got to eat. That's their job. That's what they do. I feel understand that. But I feel like what happens is that when you put a situation where you focus more on DLC, when you focus more on not the overall game experience, but the actual what kind of money that I can get. I mean, they just announced on Street Fighter 5, going back to that briefly, they just announced some swimsuits for some of the characters, and you have to pay. And I don't know if y'all know, they have costumes in Street Fighter 5 that you pay $3 and $4 for. Somebody did a calculation of all the DLC that's been released on Street Fighter 5 thus far. And if you were to spend money on every piece of DLC, including the stages, costumes, it's going to run you well over $200.
See,
Well over $200. That's including buying both of the season passes, which were $30 a piece. That had 5 characters, and then of course you buy colors because you could grind it out with fight money, but they already know that process. In order for you to be able to successfully accrue enough fight money to buy everything in that game, that's got to be the only game you play. And most gamers, unless you are a professional gamer that plays Street Fighter for a living, most gamers are going to have a rotation of games they play. They're not going to sit there and play Street Fighter 5 from here to next January or next July. So at the end of the day, for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, for that game to be successful, I feel like number one, they're going to have to bring out a diverse um, character roster, which up to this point I haven't seen. I played the demo. Demo looks great. Visually, it's stunning. It's got some really good graphics. Gameplay, I'm not really enthused on. The character roster, most of the characters that they've introduced thus far, they were in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. With the exception of one or two. So I think what's going to have to happen, and then on top of that, you don't have an inclusion of X-Men characters, possibly, unless it's DLC. There's a lot of stuff going against Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite right now, and that's why so many gamers, both casual and professional gamers, have really jumped on Dragon Ball Z Fighters as if it was Jesus in the second coming. Because a lot of folks are looking at that game to be like the Capcom killer, to be, okay, Capcom, you either gonna come correct from this point forward, or be gone, because we don't want to have nothing to do with you. And as a consumer, I don't blame people for being that way. For you to put a game out and try to milk, nickel and dime people to death, and again, I understand they have to pay bills and they want to make money too, but the nickel and dime your consumer to death with those types of means, to me, it's an abomination. And then, like you said, I will not be purchasing Marvel's Capcom Infinite when it releases. I can't do it.
Antonio.
Well, I mean, this is the way it is, man. This is what I'm gonna say about it. I've seen the roster. I hadn't played the demo. I've heard enough about it, but I mean, from what I've seen on it, I mean, so far you've shown me two new characters that's different from the last game, and that's Captain Marvel and Thanos. And that's it. Everybody else is the same character that was in the last game so far on there. So you basically copy and pasted these characters, put them on there, added two more, and then from the right out the gate, you're gonna sit here and tell me that you're gonna have to, if these extra characters, you're gonna have to buy them. You're gonna have to buy this one. You have to buy this one. When you haven't even fully announced the full roster on the game, I hope not. Let's just hope this is not the full roster on the game. But you hadn't even told me who else is on the game so far, but you're already trying to sell me something else before you even sell me the main game. And you expect me to say, okay, this is what you got to buy this here. But then later on down the road, we're gonna sell you this here on top of it. But you just keep waiting, and we'll see. But I mean, that's not. I mean, it's like Al said, it's a bad business model to do that, because, like you said, comparing it to Dragon Ball Z Fighters, Dragon Ball Z Fighters showed you what they got right out the gate. They say, okay, this is the characters we're gonna show right from the start. Is main characters, is big name characters. You want to see Vegeta, Gohan, Goku, Frieza, Cell, Boo. That's the characters that people wanted to see. They wanted to see them. They wanted to see them doing their specials. And that's, you know what? They came out and showed you what they got. And the cool thing about it is, I don't know if a lot of people know, is that that's a small team that's working on that Dragon Ball Z Fighters. It's not a big team of people. So when I compare that to like a big company like Capcom, who has the Marvel license to basically do, I mean, the gate is wide open on the characters you can do, and you're not showing me any X-Men characters. You're not showing me Punisher. You're not showing me Daredevil. You're not showing me Luke Cage.
Cage.
You're not showing me any of the Inhumans that you're pushing. You didn't even show me Ghost Rider. He was in the last game, but that's something else
Right.
you're pushing. But I mean, you're not showing those characters that are popular right now. I mean, you showed. I mean, I don't even know if Gamora is even going to be playable. They showed her in the trailer, but you didn't actually see her fight. But you didn't have Star Lord. I mean, you didn't have Drax. I mean, I really feel like they kind of dropped the ball on the whole situation with what potential they could do. I'm still right now, as it says, I don't plan on getting it. They're gonna have to show me. You have to show me a lot for me to actually come out of the gate and say, okay, now I'll get it. I'm still standing at my 40 characters. I need 40 from the get go, not counting DLC. Not counting DLC. I need 40 out the gate, and then we'll talk.
Xavier, thanks for joining us, my friend. Thoughts on Marvel vs. Capcom?
I I mean, I think I said on the show. I know I said in our group that I was gonna wait before I bought it. Um, I honestly, I really wasn't impressed with the demo. You know, Captain America he like triple D's in there, and I I didn't like the animation. It felt like, I think TC said it felt like Marvel's Capcom 3.5, and I agree with him 100% on that. Um, I don't like the easy combos. It's like they're changing the game, the fighting gameplay of it, to where it's catering to button mashers, which us as real fighting game players, we hate button mashers. You know, and no offense to anybody that's watching that is a button masher, but I can't stand it. You know, why do you have it? And I'm hoping it's just for the demo where you quick tap square and it automatically does the combo. I'm not with that. We had to go in the lab and put in work, like hours and hours of training to link our combos, and now all of a sudden you can just hit it 3 times and it'll come out with a 9 hit combo. I'm not with that.
Yeah.
So I'll wait on it.
Well, the consensus here is that nobody on this panel, as I stated, is getting that game when it first come out. And I'll tell you, man, you know, I'm gonna go still a step further than what TC said. You know, yeah, we all want 40 characters, but I better not see 20. I better not see 20 Capcom characters that was on the last game and 20 Marvel characters that was on the last game. That's not 40. That's the same game.
Right.
And
Yep.
we're not. I mean, at some point the madness has to stop, and you know, and we're gonna delve deeper in this in a minute. I'm gonna get to Al. We're gonna delve deeper into this madness that the video game companies are doing. Al, go ahead.
I just want to quickly say, I know TC had alluded to the fact that they showed us 2 new characters in um, Captain Marvel and Thanos. I don't even consider Thanos because you know he was in Marvel superheroes and Street,
Right.
and yeah, Marvel superheroes. The only other character that they showed that you could play with that wasn't in 3 was Mega Man, and he was in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So
Right.
truth be
Yep.
told, they only showed like one character
One.
that's actually new to the Versus series of the games. And I say this, and I told somebody this the other day, and you know, some people may disagree, and that's cool. That's the beauty of democracy. But Tekken 7, in my opinion, was a complete game. And if anything, the model should be put a game out where your fans and the consumers will enjoy that game. Then add DLC that will entice people to want to buy the game. DLC should not be it should be optional, but at the same time, you shouldn't hold back on the game that you are creating for the masses for material that could be in that game for the simple fact of saying, hey, um, yeah, we're gonna put Black Panther in, and knowing everybody and their cousin gonna want to play Black Panther as a DLC as a character in Marvel vs. Capcom. 'Cause he's never been in a Marvel vs. Capcom game, but then you tack on a price tag of $30 to get him and 4 other people that have been in a Marvel vs. Capcom game before and say, hey, we gave y'all Black Panther, but you gave us Tron Bond. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you gave us a Mingo. I mean, I don't know too many people play the Mingo on Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And for those that don't know, that was the cactus dude. But you know, as far as it goes, I mean, and that's the thing. You know, you want to be able to have a good gaming experience without sitting here like, golly, man, why do I have to play? Why do I have to pay for Guile?
Right.
Yep.
You get what I'm
Exactly.
saying? You know, why I got to play for? Even though they claim they're doing a Street Fighter Five, a Super Street Fighter Five, supposedly, and this is the rumor, that Sagat and Sakura and a couple other people are supposed to be free. That's
That's
not even
that's
been
unacceptable.
verified.
That's unacceptable.
But it's not free because you're paying for the Super Street Fighter 5 title.
Yeah,
Well,
and not only that, but these are all uh characters that are already in the Street Fighter family anyway. So
Right.
you basically triple charging for folks that should have been in the game
Right.
in the first place, which is the same problem. And I'm glad you brought it up, Al, about Thanos, because that's what I said when I watched the trailer with TC at E3. I said he's not new. That's Marvel's Capcom 2. Mega Man is Marvel's
Yep.
Capcom 2, Marvel's Capcom 1. You're not fooling me, man. You can fool these millennials, but you're not gonna
Right.
fool me. I know who was in that game because I put enough money in that arcade to know who's in Marvel vs. Capcom. Was in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. You know, it's like, oh, we're gonna put Cable in the game, but I'm gonna go a step further than that.
Right.
I'm gonna go a step further than that because I know what they're gonna do, and I told y'all this a few episodes ago when we brought up when they announced this game. They're going to make X-Men characters downloadable content.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to make Fantastic Four downloadable content. They're going to make Inhumans. You may get one. You may get Black Bolt out the gate. But other than that, they're going to make them downloadable content. I'm not buying this game when it first comes out because these are all characters that people know. You know, you can't. Let me tell you this, man. You can't. You could not put Marvel versus Capcom right now in this current state in an arcade and expect people to be running to it to play it. I mean, it'd be like playing Tekken 4. I mean, that's the best example I can give you. Tekken 4 was the worst Tekken of all time, and we all know why. I mean, it was a game that was half-assed. Namco rode the wave with Tekken 3. Oh, man, it's Tekken 4, man. You know, we'll give them 4 stages and 8 characters and just let them, you know, no time release characters, no nothing. So what they do with Tekken 5, oh, yeah, we got to fix all of this, man. We got to.
Mm-hmm.
They went as far to add to where you can play, use your controller at the arcade.
Right.
So, you know, Capcom's gonna have to make a decision because, like I said earlier in the previous segment, Dragon Ball Z is here. Arc Systems has got the end on them, and I'm gonna tell you, if Dragon Ball Z is a successful game, we're gonna start seeing a lot of. It's gonna be kind of like the old days when Capcom used to have all these properties, and they would come out with fighting games for these properties. Arc Systems gonna start buying up properties and coming out with games. You know, you might get a Voltron, you might get something, you know, something like that down the line. You know, Power Rangers or whatever, because people are starting to realize Capcom is lazy, and you can capitalize on their laziness because you have a crowd out there like us that want to play these games in its full glory, and not have to be nickel and dime, you know, to play these games. And so Capcom is on dangerous ice. Antonio, and we'll get ready to move.
Well, no, I was just gonna say, I mean, with Bandai Namco, with the licenses they have, I mean, they could come out with a Naruto Arc System game.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, there's enough fans out there that it would be a hit right out the gate.
Yeah. I mean, you could do Naruto, you could do Airbender. I mean, you got all kind, you know, you got a lot of Samurai Champloo. I mean, you got just the avenues there.
Yeah, they got One Piece. I mean, their roster is pretty big, and they could even do like a collaboration type game, like which they've done over in Japan, but they could do one with Arc Systems to where you have all those games and all those characters mixed in like a versus series. But I mean, that's probably something way down the road, but I would love to see something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you can Persona and all those characters in there.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, think about this. There's not even any rival school characters in Marvel vs. Capcom.
No Batsu, no Shoma.
No.
Bowman.
It's basic Darkstalker characters, man.
But the thing is, you gotta think about how old that game is and who knows who those characters are now.
You know how many people been yelling for John Calbane since 2000 and
you know how many people now have been clamoring for Capcom to do not only a Darkstalkers game, but another Project Justice game. I mean, just because they're not on the scene. I mean, because think about this. Little Timmy Turner is going to get that game because he sees Captain America and Groot and Rocket Raccoon. Okay, so we're going to get that game because if they say, okay, Batsu from Project Justice is going to be in the game, or John Talbane, or what was the merman's name? I can't remember his name, but y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Or Donovan. You know, those types of characters are going to be what's going to draw us to the game because we have been lifelong Capcom fighting game fans. we're the ones that bring in that revenue for them to say, okay, well, yeah, we could do this. We could bring these people in this game and make some extra money. But apparently, with this whole Marvel Cinematic Universe or whatever the BS is, it's probably doubtful that we see anybody aside from Jeddah. Jeddah's the only somebody from Darkstalkers that's been announced, and they ain't released him yet as far as any trailer. So
It is what it is. All right, so let's move on here to the God of War was shown at E3, and I've actually seen a couple of articles, man, saying that people weren't impressed with it. Uh, I mean, I can't see what the complaint is. I mean, it looks like a solid game to me. I mean, God of War doesn't typically disappoint. Uh, I mean, and we all know Santa Monica Studios are not going to give you everything. I mean, up front, they're not going to give it all to you. I mean, no, you can hang it up. So I don't quite understand what some people's boggle is. I guess it's because they changed the format of the game. But I mean, personally, I'm fine
Yeah.
with the way it's laid out. It's damn near almost like playing a Zelda game, almost, except you're playing it in the God of War universe.
But why would you want to play a game that doesn't evolve? You know what I'm
I mean,
saying? That's the whole purpose of it, is to get better and to make you want to keep the franchise going
Yeah.
and to keep playing it. But it sounds like it's probably gonna be the same people that are excited about Marvel's Capcom Infinite being a button masher. They want the easy route to play God of War and every other game that come out. They want it to be as easy as possible, which takes away from the whole purpose of the game, in my opinion.
uh, Al,
change is inevitable. Um, I couldn't see a new God of War game being like the God of War 1 through 3 because according to that whole story, the Lord, he killed every daggum Greek god there was,
Right.
and technically, after God of War 3, off for good. He was a goner. Kratos was dead. He was after he killed everybody. That was his swan song. So for them to even bring him back in a new game, in and of itself, is an ambitious undertaking because, of course, that comes with story. Are you going to continue the story from God of War 3, which I'm pretty sure they are? They're going to have to explain what happened to him. What happened to Kratos? Who is your baby's mama? All that kind of stuff, which in my opinion, I'm looking forward to because I love the God of War series.
Right.
Got all three of them, played them, beat them, So I think at the end of the day, man, you can't please everybody. Like, our disdain for Marvel's Capcom Infinite. Somebody on the other side of the planet is jumping for joy, and they probably wept tears of joy when they saw that trailer. I didn't.
Right.
But I mean, the God of War, man, it looks really good. I mean, it's showing off the prowess of the PlayStation 4. Of course, it's a PlayStation exclusive. Me personally, man, I'm looking forward to it being in my library, man, because I really want to see how they're gonna take this. If I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, they're supposed to be dealing now with Norse mythology. Is that correct?
that is correct.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like I say, he killed all the Greek gods. I guess Anubis them next once he killed all the Norse gods. So yeah, it was a joke. Um, but anyway, I think I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I think it's going to be a top-notch game. Naughty Dog is making that, right? Is it Naughty Dog?
No, Santa Monica.
Okay,
Santa Monica Studios.
okay. So I mean, I have faith that they're going to put out a good quality game.
TC.
I mean, I'm a diehard God of War fan. So I mean, anything with Kratos in it, I've played. I played 1, 2, 3, Ascension, uh, Chains of Olympus, Ghost of
Hmm.
Sparta, the
Hmm.
one that came out on PSP. I played all of them. So
Mortal Kombat
seeing a new
9.
format, yeah. I mean, seeing the new format the way it is now, I mean, I was a little surprised at it, but I see it as not necessarily like a challenge, but I do like a little bit of change in the gameplay because I mean I don't want the same stale kind of game where you just go platform, run through this, fight these characters. This one actually looks different. It actually looks like you more into the action itself more than kind of pulled out the way the normal games are now. So, I mean, I'm excited for it. That's a day one buy for me.
Right.
Yeah. That's. I think everybody's on
Man, that's a
pretty much on that.
as soon as they make it available.
Yeah, I think it's gonna pretty much grab that. So let's close out our E3 segment. We're talking about the and I'm gonna let Xavier go first on this. I'm not buying it, and before I even get it out of my mouth, I'm not buying it. No interest in it. I'm not paying $500 for a system.
Oh,
Been there, done that. I actually paid an extra $100. It's spent the night to get it, but Xbox One X. We're gonna let X talk about the Xbox One X.
so I mean, here's the thing. The only thing that I'm really looking forward to as far as the Xbox One X is it being a 4K player, which the Xbox One S is. So just having a stronger 4K player. That's about it for me. Um, I'm not into the first person shooters. Like I'm pretty sure. I think you all like first person
Yeah,
shooters, but I'm not into them. So I'm not worried about the Microsoft exclusives that come out with it. I mean, I don't. It's a 4K player to me. That's the only way I'm looking at it.
see that proves that, and I'm not knocking. This is not a knock to you to say anything, but I'm just. This is TC. This is what I'm talking about. Now, you heard what he said. He said he's not getting it for the games. He's getting it because it's a 4K player.
Yeah.
I mean, I can respect that. My problem is that folks who are talking about, well, I'm getting it for the games, and I'm like, well, it's the same. The same game is on
It's the same game.
on,
Yeah.
on Xbox One. You know, if you're gonna give me the argument, well, I'm getting a 4K player. All right, well, you know, I know he has a 4K TV, so that makes sense. But for someone who's just, you know, I'm getting it because the graphics are gonna be updated on the game. Then that makes me wonder, you know, why would you pay an extra, you know, couple of $100? And maybe Al can tell me about that because he has his on reserve.
Man, why you keep saying that, man? I do not have that thing on reserve.
And a quick clarification. I didn't say I was getting it.
Oh, I'm just messing with you. I'm just segueing into
I didn't say I was gonna get it. I said I could see why. But that's it. I
Oh,
can't
but
get
I'm
no
just
$500.
go ahead, brother.
Who, me?
Yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead. I was just
Oh,
messing
I
with
thought
you.
X was still. You know, I know, man. I know you joke. I thought X was still talking. Personally, man, I'm gonna tell you my big takeaways from E3 was the Dragon Ball Fighter.
No. Your thought. So on the Xbox One.
Oh, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get to it. I'm segueing
okay.
into it. I'm gonna get to it. I got you. I'm just putting out there what I was looking for. I'm not looking for that Xbox One S, XSFP,
Right.
or whatever it's called.
Right.
But most of the stuff I was looking for was game oriented. Not only Xbox product that I'm actually looking forward to is Cuphead. That's it. The Xbox One X, it can stay at the store. The only time I will buy that particular system is probably going to be around Black Friday. If they drop it like $200 and have it for like $250 or something, I get it then. But I'm not going to buy that game. No, $500 to me. And I can see where X is coming from with 4K. I own a 4K TV, but I don't own any 4K movies. So I'm not going to go, it's not going to be a cause and effect for me because in most cases, this is how it'll work for some people. They'll go get the Xbox One S, whatever it's called, and then they'll say, hey, I need some 4K movies. So they'll go out and buy 4K movies, or they go buy 4K movies with intent on buying the Xbox, whatever it's called. I'm not going to do that at this particular point in time. If I do own that system, it's going to be bargain basement. It's like I said, it's going to have to be on sale because I don't see anything aside from the 4K player. If it's still going to play the same Xbox One game, I don't see a need to go out and just buy this system because it upscales everything to 4K.
Right.
Because I mean, if it's in 1080p, in my opinion, I don't have great eyes, but I don't have terrible eyes either. If it look good, it look good. I'm not looking for sprites and all that pixel crap. As long as it don't look like it's on the Atari 2600 when I start playing, we're good.
Antonio Coleman. Xbox One X.
Just get a PC, man. That's all I got to say for it. Just get you a computer. I mean, essentially,
The same thing.
I mean, Microsoft already said they're gonna put all the games on. It's gonna be PC and the Xbox. So, I mean, you can spend right at the what at $500 on a on a PC and get close to a system that's gonna be able to run that. And then later on, you can actually upgrade it without having to buy a whole new machine
Right.
later on down the road, which is
Right.
what Microsoft is going to do. They're going to be like, okay, well, 2 years down the road, we got another system, and this is another $500. Whereas
Yep.
if you just got a computer, okay, just buy your new video card, slap that in there, and you good to go.
And you can do that with
And
the
that's it.
Xbox One S. You can get that graphic. You might spend a grip on it, but you can get that graphics card
So wait a minute.
Yep.
Wait,
and the processor in it.
have I missed something? So there's Xbox One, Xbox One S.
Yeah. The One
And
S
then the
has
Xbox X.
HDR.
Yeah.
Next
So the
segment. Let's get into our next segment.
There's three. There going to be three of them.
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get to our next segment. For those who did not watch this past week's episode of Fear the Walking Dead, shame on you. Now, Al Rain, I'm coming your way because have you not watched it?
I went to sleep, man. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Xavier, have you watched it?
Yes.
Al, you're gonna have to get the spoiler tonight, my man, because we gotta talk about this.
Okay.
And then
I
you can
watched
go
that
back.
on the finale of American Gods.
Yeah. All right, so before this past week's episode, we had a hell of a cliffhanger on the week before last episode. The old man has returned to Fear the Walking Dead. And so this past week's episode, we got a chance to see how he was able to survive and make it to where he is now. And we also found out that this man was basically military, a CIA agent almost. And I'll tell you, like I told Antonio Sunday, I feel like this was probably one of the best Walking Dead episodes I've ever seen. And I'm saying that from the standpoint of, one, I do not know what's coming up next. I had no clue what was what. So I was completely taken off guard. And B, he's just a solid character. He's really the type of character that gets you intrigued into the show. He sucks you in. I mean, because you don't know much about him. You just know that he doesn't take any shit from anybody.
Right.
I mean, case in point, when he hit that with the zombie, man, the part that TC enjoyed. You know, he said, "You want to eat?" You know, but I mean, it was really a really good episode. The end of the episode was, I mean, that was the way.
The best part.
That was the best part.
Yeah.
You know, it was the best part. The way it ended, it was just blockbuster stuff, man. It's like, oh, really? This is how it ends. So, I want to get Xavier your thoughts on it. The old man has returned.
You know, this whole time I did not realize you were talking about him. I could have answered that question a long time ago. What happened to him? That's just on a whole nother thing. But I enjoyed this episode. The only thing I can say that I didn't enjoy was that 90% of the show they were speaking Spanish, so you had to read the subtitles. But that's here nor there, because if you train yourself, you can see what was going on while you were reading the subtitles and everything. But all in all, man, the build up, they didn't rush anything. They literally grabbed your hand and walked you down the road to show you his path to get to where he is now. And then, like I said, that the ending of it, you can't end the show better than that. So Al, you missed out on that one, brother. You're gonna really enjoy it when you see it.
Antonio,
Top notch, man. You know what I call him, man? I still call him Danny Boy. You know why I call him Danny Boy, man? Because that's what his name was when he was in Predator 2.
Yep.
When he was working with Danny Glover in Predator 2. It was Danny. That was his main part. You know what, man? This dude is just as hard now as he was back then.
Right.
On that show. He really is. And the more you find out about his background, the more interesting that character is. Which I didn't even know. Like you said, didn't know he was trained by the CIA. Didn't know he had 96 confirmed kills
Right. He
under
might as
his
well have been
belt.
Snake Plissken.
I mean,
Yeah,
I mean,
Solid Snake.
Right.
yeah. I mean, this
It was
dude.
Snake-O.
I mean, you really find out about this guy in that episode, man, and you really like. I really hope that nothing happens to him. And that's he's one of my favorite characters in the show on there. And I missed him last season when he wasn't on there. But I'm really glad he's back, and I love him even more now that he is back.
yeah, I mean, you know, you look at that, the way that show ended last week, man, and I get into this argument with people who are regular Walking Dead fans, but like I tell them, I said, you don't know what's going to happen from week to week, which makes this show so much better. I mean, it's almost as if Kirkman has taken all of the missteps with the Walking Dead and fixed them for this season of Fear the Walking Dead. I mean, this is literally, Al, I can because you have been watching it. This is literally, you don't know who the hell to trust.
Right. Right.
Well, see, we talked about it. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm just gonna say that you got main characters going down to the woods with folks that we know is trying to knock him off. And now they're hanging out, and then you got other folks that want to take the guy out that was going with this other guy. I mean, it's a free fall now, and it's really. Then you got that guy who we found out was beating on his wife. We still have yet to really get an understanding of where he's coming from. You know, and the thing about it is, you don't necessarily. This is the unique thing about Fear the Walking Dead is that right now you don't have a clear villain.
Right.
You got people who you think might be the villain, but you don't have the actual clear villain yet, and that's what is the intriguing part. Most people would have considered the guy that got knocked off Sunday, the old man took care of, would have been the main villain. But that for him to go, that lets me know it's got to be somebody that's going to be even more worse than he is,
Right.
more ruthless. Al.
I just want to say when we talked about this in a previous conversation, I think the thing that actually helps to Fear the Walking Dead is the fact that it is not tied to the comic, and because I mean you have with the Walking Dead, which I'm still gonna watch the show, even though I was rather disappointed with the last season. You have a situation where that show is linear, meaning that they have to follow, or they don't have to follow it, but they've been following the comic book, save from changing certain things around as to who gets killed, who dies, new characters and stuff like Daryl or whatnot. But those have been small nuances that pretty much haven't really like affected the show that much. When you have a situation where you got Fear the Walking Dead, which is a whole new canvas, they can paint a much broader picture than the Walking Dead can, because like I said, they don't have the restraints of a comic book, so from what I've been seeing as far as people talking about Fear the Walking Dead, people are saying, hey man, this they coming out with all cylinders blazing, like this is like the truth. And I think it's going to continue to be that way because, like I said, they don't have to worry about bringing in the Whisperers. They don't have to worry about bringing in Alpha. They don't have to worry about bringing in this group or that group, because it's not a situation where they have to do that. I mean, if they want to bring Goliath in there with a slingshot or whatnot, they could do that. Not saying that they would, but they have that creative, artistic ability to do that now, and I think that's what's making that show a lot better than The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I mean, and that's exactly correct. And I think that at this point, you're probably just gonna have diehard Walking Dead. But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, man, the regular Walking Dead show is on life support. I mean, I watch it now just to pass the time on Sundays when a slow football game is on. But outside of that, man, there's really not much to see. as far as that goes. Fear the Walking Dead right now is on fire. And for those who watch AMC, don't forget we've got a 2 night special of the Preacher,
Preacher.
Sunday night and on Monday night. So you don't have to suffer through Monday Night Raw. That you can watch Preacher. So also in about three, TC, correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say about 3 weeks, man. We're about 3 weeks away from the Strain season
From
finale.
the Strain.
Yeah,
Last season.
last season of the Strain, which I hate to see that go, man. So I'm praying that Quinlan gets a spinoff show out of this.
Man, that's my dilemma. I was gonna bring that up later on. So you know, the 16th is the same day that Winter is coming back, right?
Yeah.
So
Well,
you
that
got
comes on an hour beforehand.
what? Oh, you sure?
Yeah,
Yeah, you right. You
Yeah.
right. Okay, all right.
yeah.
Dilemma
Yeah.
solved. Thank you, Matt.
There you go. Yep,
Yes. It's an hour
yep.
apart.
All
So
right.
Sunday nights are starting to be slammed. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and we're close to wrapping things up tonight. Me and Al talked about this earlier. This is a topic that I wish Larry was here. Uh, but DC was announced yesterday. DC Comics, all rebirth titles are still ongoing. No cancellation. Marvel, on the other hand, is in bad shape.
Every week.
It seems like every day it's a new cancellation for Marvel.
Dropping like
Yeah.
flies.
And DC has just gotten it right with the writing. I mean, I've heard no complaints about any rebirth. You know, everybody seems to be. I mean, even all the way down to what Blue Beetle. I mean, everybody.
Yeah. I think they
I
said
mean,
the worst ones was Batgirl
That
and
girl.
Batgirl and the Birds of Prey. That was the worst
yeah.
two selling out of the whole thing.
So you look at. I mean, they just got it right. They just went back to roots and good, solid writing and good books. Whereas
Mm.
Marvel, Secret Empire, and now we've got Weapons of Mutant Destruction.
Man, hey, check this out. They have found a way to make Deathstroke a good guy.
I mean, that's solid
How
writing.
do you do that? You know what I
And
mean?
the
I'm not
other stuff.
complaining. I'm
Yeah.
not complaining by any means, but like they have found a way to make Deathstroke a good guy, and it's starting. It's about to come back up, and the newest issue is coming out, and he's starting his own team of good guys with his son. Not why I can't remember his name. Anyway, when I remember, I'll say it. But dude, this yeah.
Well, that's another thing is that DC has made all of their characters relevant again. I mean, Lobo was in the wastelands
Yeah.
of the DC universe. Lobo is relevant again. I mean, you got just characters that will be utilized. They're being utilized now. Uh, Batman is on fire.
Oh yes.
Batman is on fire. The Flash is on fire. Aquaman is on fire. I mean, right now DC is pretty much in the driver's seat. Al,
Well, I mean, it's a testament, man. Like, right now, as far as my pools, my pools exist mainly as far as new books. It's going to be DC and Image. Um, right now, DC, I'm enjoying the books that I get from DC. Right now, I collect Titans. I collect the Green Arrow book still, Green Lanterns, and the Flash. The Flash, man. The only gripe I have about the Flash is the art. I don't know what in the heck they're doing, but they change out their artists like seems like every 2 or 3 books,
Right.
and some of those people can't draw, like for real, for real. But the stories, man, is excellent. It took a little low with the button, but I
Right.
see what DC is trying to do. Everything they're doing right now is strategic, especially and I don't know if we're going to talk about that this evening, but with the impending debut of the Watchmen in the DC universe, everything they're doing is all about strategy. It's all about setting the tone for that particular group to come on the scene. Green Lanterns is an excellent book, in my opinion. Green Arrow is a really good book. They have a really good write on that book. Titans is one of those books that pretty much that the Watchmen story actually runs through the Titans book. So if you want to know exactly what's going on or the hints that they throw, it's in that Titans book. So the way they got it set up now, man, when they went to the drawing board with this rebirth, to me it seems like, for based on the books that I've read, that they really thought about it, that they put a lot of effort in the streamlining the DC universe to make it to gel it together, to bring it together. Now, of course, me being a huge Firestorm and Shazam fan, I hadn't seen either of those in the DC universe in the rebirth, but hopefully they'll either be introduced in some form, whether they'll be in a group or their own solo series. But right now, DC, man, they're doing really good with this rebirth thing. On the Marvel side, I bought the X-Men Gold #1. I thought that was a good book, but I haven't bought one since then. The only other book that I've been getting from Marvel is the Secret Empire. I will say that that is a good book. The controversy be damned. Whoever's writing that story they're putting their foot in it, because it is a really good read, really good read. But you know, we could probably have another 2-hour conversation on what Marvel is doing wrong, because it's reported that they're going to be dropping 30 titles over the next couple of months, which is astronomical. But considering that they have roughly 50 or 60 titles, you know, they really need to get back to what brought them to the dance in the first place. But as of right now, I will have to give Rebirth. It's still a thumbs up for me.
TC.
But man, you know what? I my pull list is very limited at this point now, and that's really due to some of the issues that I've been collecting have ended. Because right now, the only Marvel comics that I'm consistently getting right now is Infamous Iron Man. That's still going, which I'm shocked that's still going. I can see the end coming on it though, and Punisher and Black Panther, and that's it for my Marvel picks. As far as DC, I'm still going strong with Batman. I'm still going strong with Flash as well. And I mean, I'm enjoying both of those. Just like Al said, with Flash, they keep changing up the art, and some of it looks really good. And then the next time you see it, it's like, who did this? But it's like, I
Yeah.
mean, really, that's the way it is. I mean, I look at one, and I'm like, man, this looks really good. Like somebody, and then other times it's like, who do they get just out of art school just to do this?
Right, right.
But yeah, I mean, it's a changing of times. I mean, with Marvel being as people, I mean, I don't know how they still claiming to be the dominant thing with Marvel, but I think DC is holding strong and actually doing well on their own with this whole rebirth. And Marvel at this point, man, is trying to get a foothold on what to do. I mean, they keep talking about doing the whole Legacy series, which is with the multiple comic titles and stuff like that, and actually just consolidate some of the characters down and just to a few books. But I mean, is that really going to work? Is that going to help them out as far as sales wise, or is it just going to be? Is this just going to go for so long, and then we're going to start throwing out #1s again? And that's really what kind of turned me off to Marvel with the way they were doing stuff, especially with Luke Cage when they turned around and did just 4 issues, and then they said, "Okay, here's a new #1 of Luke Cage." I'm like, no, I'm not buying it again. But I'm really impressed with what DC is doing with their comics. Like you said, they haven't canceled any of them at all. So I'm looking forward to watching. That might be something if it's a good story on it. That might be something I might start adding to my pull list on that.
Well, I tell you what, if you are speculating or collecting, go pick you up Watchmen. If you have not picked up a Watchmen #1, you can go get that for cheap. Go get you a Watchmen #1 because you're gonna get the double down effect. HBO has announced they're going to be doing a new Watchmen TV show, and in the Rebirth universe, the Watchmen are on the way. So expect there to be some kind of bump on that book somewhere down the line. Well, with that, fellas, that is our show for tonight. We want to say, Xavier, you said, did you have anything in your haul this week?
No, I'm good. Well, the only one I got was Batman 25 War of the Jokes and Riddles, which if y'all don't read Batman, you might want to go ahead and get into it right now because you got the Riddler and the Joker fighting to see who gets to kill Batman. You can only get better from there. And the lead into like the way they brought it up, man, it's awesome. Yeah, might want to start picking that book up.
All right. So, all right. Well, with that, we'll tell everyone have a great evening. Thanks for watching. We will catch you back in a couple of weeks, the same week that Spider-Man Homecoming releases. So we may not do a show because we may all go see Spider-Man Homecoming, so that we can all be on one page. It's on the table. But until then, we shall return. Thanks for watching. Everyone have a good night. Lonzo Ball, welcome to the LA Lakers. Have a good night.